So welcome viewers for this grand Cuppa cricket episode of NWA Cricket Championship 2023. So what a tournament we had. So you can't, Cuppa cricket is a great sentiment to the NWA cricket. You can't separate Cuppa cricket and NWA cricket. What do you think, Vishal?
Correct, rightly said so. And Krishna, as usual, every year we've been doing this and we want to keep up with the tradition. And it's just before the finals. What a tournament it has been, and we just want to bring this episode of Cuppa cricket right before the finals.
So great time. I would like to have Vishal with me, myself, Krishna, Vishal. We are going to do this Cuppa cricket episode. So just to start, apologize for the delay, guys. We are delayed by 40 minutes. I guess we had some technical difficulties and stuff like that. We are trying to figure it out. So anyway, so to start. So what a tournament we had, this year 28 teams registered.
Correct.
If you look at it, means there are 4 groups. So 7 teams into each group.
7 teams
into each group.
Yes.
If you look at it. So quickly into the A group, whom we had was, 1 second. So we had Udans, Knights, Buddies, Benton Dodgers, Men in Blue, NWA Dabans and Sunrisers. And Group B,
we had Titans, Challengers, United, Bentonville Deccans, Hunters, Afghani Sultans and Bentonville Lions.
Right. In Group C, we had Mavericks, Avengers, Rockers, Hustlers, Panthers, Benton Tigers and Cowboys.
And Group D, last, we had Samurais, Blazers, Rowdies, Warriors, Rebels, Vikings and Falcons.
Wow.
28 teams, pretty high number of teams.
Yeah.
4 groups. Everybody played beautiful,
right? So to start with, right, let me pose this question to you, Vishal, right? So at least based on my analysis, I don't see any clear favorites before the tournament who would be the winner. What do you think?
Right, absolutely. And just till last year, what we had is the Phillips part, okay? You could make out, because teams have been playing here for a long time in town and Phillips Park, and you probably have at least 2 or 3 favorites. But here we have a full ground. Creekside, I'm sure we'll talk about that here in just a bit.
Yep.
But Creekside coming into the picture, a lot of new teams, and we don't know what Creekside does to the matches and everything. So I honestly didn't have any favorites.
Absolutely, I think we both are on the same page, at least in terms of our analysis. That's great to know. Means to quickly talk about the top 12 teams.
Correct.
If you look at it, so from A group, means no group, all groups are equal in my opinion, right? There is no pool of death in my opinion. Every team is challenging, every means group was pretty challenging. To start with the Group A, so we had Knights, Dodgers and Udans. Those 3 were the top teams.
Right.
If we look at the Group B, Titans, Challengers and United, they were the top teams. You want to talk about the Group C and D?
Group C, we had Mavericks, Avengers, Hustlers. Then Group E, we had Rowdies, Samurais and Rebels. But see, although we had this top 12 teams, but there are few teams that we want to call out in there, because they were all the way to the end of the league stage. They were in the hunt for the making it to the top 12.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's start ahead and go with the Group A and see. You want to talk about those teams?
Yeah, absolutely. So on Group A, look at it, though we talked about Knights, Dodgers and Udans, but there was a bit of a fight or tussle between the Buddies, Dodgers, Udans. Who is going to make it to that top 3, right? If you look at it. So that was a very close game between Dodgers and Buddies. Okay, that was deciding the fate of who will be the top 2nd and 3rd. That was not only deciding the top 3rd team,
right.
That was deciding between who is going to be the top 2nd and 3rd team. So where the Dodgers and Buddies had an equation, they have to win the game in the 12th over.
Mind you, viewers, that in NWA history, usually it's a win or lose that takes you to the next round. But this is about almost the first time that we have had where you have to win in certain overs to make it through and So go ahead, and I just wanted to bring that thought in there.
So I could recall of a similar moment that happened somewhere in 2015, where there was a match between Challengers versus Rivals. So between those teams, one of them wins, that makes a way for another team. I could recall that with my memory.
Right.
So after close to 8 years, we got into a similar situation,
right.
And then finally Dodgers and Udans made it to the top 2nd and 3rd.
Right.
Okay. Just quickly talking about on the Group B. Titans, Challengers, and United. While we talk about those three teams, you want to talk a little bit on the Deccans.
Yeah, Deccans, the particular game that comes to my mind is the Titan versus Deccans. Mind you, that game was in Phillips Park. Okay, so Phillips Park, any game, I cannot say that this game is a clear winner in there. Anything could happen there, and rightly so. That game went into the live wire till the last ball, and Deccan gave a solid fight. Okay, if Deccan would have come on top, I would not have been surprised that they played some good.
Mind you, that was the very first game for Titans and Deccans.
Correct. And because Thief, their main strike batter for the Titans, he came down the order because the bounce or the line and the length is completely different in Phillips Park versus the Creekside. So he came in the middle order, I would say, and but although he scored some runs there.
I think 20 odd runs he scored. Then finally, the experienced campaigner Praveen made sure that they crossed the finish line. Due credit to the Praveen over there. Like they registered that first win. It was a very close match. I was fortunate to watch that match.
Right. That game was very very.
There was another interesting contest right in the same group. We want to talk about the Challengers versus Titans, the high scoring game.
That high scoring game, mind you, Titans batted really beautifully. Batted first, scored 160 odd runs, I think. And Challengers lost some base in the beginning, but then they came back and Sajid, what a knock that was.
Another seasoned campaigner, right? He put 60 odd runs on the board.
65 or something. I almost gave up on that game myself. I almost gave up. I'm like, Titans going to win pretty comfortably, handsomely. And when I ended up watching the final score,
they lost by 14, 15 runs, something like that.
15 odd some runs, and I'm like, how did that happen? And then I saw that Sajid scored 65 some runs, and I'm like, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Where you come from out of nowhere and put your team into the winning position. That was close game too.
Rightly said. And might like that where Sajid was awarded as the man of the match. Though the team was on the losing side, but still, I mean that's a great call out over there. Right?
Yeah, for sure. That
so the one thing I want to pick from there, like the Titans really made themselves as the role model or leading by an example. How to be in a clean batting execution. They were displaying that. Though they started very slow in that game, but their middle orders and top orders, they made sure like Tirith was there, Ujjwal came in, Ramesh and Uma, they all came in, they made sure that they reached that fancy target of 158 or 160 odd.
Right, good. I mean, they have been doing so consistently. So.
Yeah, means that team, that pool, like definitely a lot to talk on the pool. Like Control Lines, they are registering themselves as the first year, but still, what a year they had. Like
they played good cricket for sure. They played good cricket overall.
Interesting contest, right? Like Lions, kudos to Lions there. Just moving on to the Group C. So the top three teams are Mavericks, Avengers, and Hustlers. But this time, nevertheless, like Hustlers, they have a very tough fight to Avengers, and they won against Panthers as well.
Right.
Though they have been playing this format for the last 2-3 years, personally, I always felt that they would be one of the good teams after 2-3 years. But they showed that they did not build up that hopes, I would say.
So what's happening with that team in Hustlers? I happened to umpire one of their games. What I noticed is that very young team, all youngsters in there. So I think they are gathering up all the experiences now, and eventually in a year or 2 years time, that team will be the one that to beat. I mean, they have their bowlers. They bowl quick. They bowl length pretty hard. They bowl very hard length. They have pretty good batters and as well. So that if I had to bet my money on any team out of this whole 28 team, I would probably pick that team.
Oh, that's a great. Give credit to them, right? So talking about a little bit on Mavericks and Avengers. Avengers, though they lost like the 2 games out of their initial 3 games, they came back really strong. So they have the season campaigner like Rennie, Amrish, Arun, and Suraj, right? Let's not forget about the 250s from Mr. Amrish. And Mr. Rennie is the leading run scorer. Like he scored 191 runs without no 50s, which means he has been consistently scoring the 30s and 40s.
Correct. Every game he's been scoring runs. Yeah.
Of course, we talk about the Mavericks part. Like they have been the clear match winner, especially in the group, right?
Yes.
Group C.
Yes.
They have been winning the matches with a big margin.
Big margin, yes, truly. And because they have, see, if you look at it, the depth in the batting is too deep.
Yep.
They bat way deep. And Plus they have power headed in terms of Nikhil.
Yeah. Let's not forget to talk about that 100, right? The very first
Yes.
100 into the NWA cricket history.
That's
For the last
also-
like 13 years, 14 years, I have seen like
Right.
yeah.
Very first,
He's on the top notch.
and mind you, coming into more years, those 50s and 100s are gonna come now because we are in the fuller ground.
Yeah,
There
absolutely.
will be scores and higher scores that will be coming. So, but nonetheless, what a 100 that was. Mind you, against the United there.
Yeah. Perfect. While we talk about their batting lineup, their bowling lineup has been also top notch. Like they have Naveen, they had Salmi, they had
Rohit,
Rohit, and Suman. Right?
Suman, correct.
What a team
So
it is, right?
they have a full
Pack.
full pack squad.
Yeah.
Just like Titans, I would say that if Titans and Mavericks, they have the very ideal squad per se.
Absolutely. So quickly talking on this Group D, the top 3 teams were Rowdies, Samurais, and Rebels. So while we talk about the top 3 teams, let's also talk about like who are also competing.
I
for
think,
that
I think
team.
Blazers, your team, Blazers, they gave a good fight. There was one good game that was
between Blazers versus Rebels, but
Correct.
still Rebels had an edge on it. They played really well. They outplayed Blazers and
yes, and that
yes.
game was really good. And there was another game that happens in Rowdies versus Rebels.
Rebels, yeah.
That game was very interesting. It's just like how we talked about the Titans versus Deccans. Just like that, Rowdies had 41 for 7.
Yeah, you're right.
And then
Bala
came.
scored the 34 runs.
Bala scored some 34 runs in 20 balls.
Yeah, 26 balls. Yeah.
26 balls, yeah, and they ended up being 98 in total.
Then Nandan scored like 20 odd runs. That really pushed the target to 98.
Yeah,
Look at
I watched that game as a viewer from outside. I happened to be there.
So that showed their character. They were registering very strongly. Hey, guys, we are here, okay, to clinch the title. That's the way that they were passing that message very strongly. You look at it like 40 for 7, they reached 98. That's not an easy
Yeah,
job.
100%. That definitely defines the team.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move on from this top 12 teams. Let's make some special call-outs.
Yeah.
So why don't we make that, right? There were 2-3 teams who really put a lot of good effort just to make sure they are standout teams, though they did not make up to the semi-finals or finals. Definitely that call-out has to be made.
Right, so 2 teams that comes to my mind is the Benton Dodgers. Benton Dodgers, they have played few years, I think. They have played few years now, and first time ever they made it to the next round. In top 12 teams, they played wonderful cricket. They won 5 out of the 6 league games. Mind you, beating Udan.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to give you a little history on the Udan too. Okay, Udan formed in 2021, and ever since they've been either finalist or the winner. T16 they won in 2021, T10 they were runner up, and they were 4-time finalists.
Yeah, since the time they formed, you're right in your statement. Like since the time they formed, they are 4-time finalists directly, right?
Straight up.
It's beating them is not an easy job.
Absolutely.
I just want to make a quick call out that, right? Like even last year, if I remember rightly, there was a tie game between Udans versus Dodgers.
Right.
So that is a message clearly to Udans. Dodgers says that means Udans has so far not won a game against Dodgers.
Right.
Look at it.
But this time I think Dodgers played wonderful cricket.
Yeah.
Special call out for the player
Varun.
Varun.
Wow.
He's been doing wonderfully with the bat and the ball, and a great all-round performance, great team effort from the whole.
Great addition to NWA cricket.
Absolutely, because that brings in more competition.
Absolutely, right? And the other mentioned, right, like the Hustlers win against Avengers and Panthers. Man, like that was a great message passed on to the NWA cricket. Hey guys, we are here to the upcoming years or even for the matter like this year. They were pretty hardly fighting for this title as well.
Yes,
right?
absolutely, and just like I spoke enough already about the Hustler, wonderful team and great addition to the NWA competition. So those 2 teams is my pick for the special call out for a special team.
Of course, it should be everyone's pick. I would say, like
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
the teams who are performed above and beyond. I would say that's the way I would
Rightly
put it,
said,
right?
so yes.
Yeah. So do you want to quickly talk about the top 8 teams from the 12 teams?
See, one thing I noticed here is that so top 8 teams, okay. If you say the number 5 to 8 teams, okay, they were knocked out.
Yeah.
So the top 4 stayed the top 4 teams. They were the
Absolutely.
semi-finalists. So that actually I feel like it's the success of the format that we had. Also, the success I would say is the competition, fairly even competition. The success of the tournament here, and I think rightly all 4 teams deservedly beat the semi-finals.
Absolutely. Talking quickly on the top 8 teams, right? Rowdies were the number 1 team, and number 2 was Mavericks, number 3 was Titans, number 4 was Knights, and Samurais 5th, and followed by Challengers, Hustlers, and Avengers.
Correct.
Okay, that's why they have been ranked.
Right.
But as you mentioned rightly, they made sure the top 4 teams made sure, hey guys, here we are for the duty just to make sure like we are going to the semi-finals. They passed that message very, very clearly. They knocked down the teams from number 5 to number 8.
Right. Very solid display of cricket there.
Yeah. So let's, we talked about a lot of details from each teams and each player. So let's talk about a little bit on the ground part of it, the full ground part of it, right? The creek side, so which has been a dream for us, right? Like means as NWA cricketer, like everyone wanted to have that dedicated cricket ground over a decade.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Means special thanks to the core team and whoever has worked means along with the core team just to make this dream.
Right. Bentonville City has finally come to agreement over the cricket ground now, and we have our own very own cricket ground. And see, that changes a whole lot about the cricket in town. So what changes is that, per se, Phillips Park used to be the bowler's paradise. Versus now we are playing in the round game, even bounce. You can trust the bounce. And everything, so I think that comes down to be the batting paradise. Absolutely. And so you already seeing the higher scores and everything, and you will score more and more higher scores.
There were like 2-3 games with 160 odd runs. The teams like Titans and Rowdies, they registered 150 odd, 160, 170 odd runs, right? Yeah. And there were some 130 odd runs, 140 odd runs.
So on a teams consistently hitting 110, 120, they're consistently hitting that. So that's going to be par score. Before in Phillips Park, we used to be with 60s, 70s, or maybe 80s, and occasionally it will go over 100. But now consistently basis, we are going about 120, 110 or so.
The full ground, the creek side given a completely a new dimension to the NWA cricket. So that's a good thing. That's a welcoming sign for these cricketers as a whole. You talked about rightly Phillips Park being a bowling paradise and creek side being a batsman paradise. That has been the trend, common trend. I was doing a little bit of analysis, especially from the knockoff games. If you look at it, right, like be it quarterfinals, be it 3 quarterfinals or semi-finals, we have started seeing that at the 160, 140s is slowly coming down to this 120, 110. We have witnessed this semi-finals with the 99 target, 100 target. We have seen 89 target. Do you think like there is a little bit of a pressure coming into the play?
That rightly picked up, Krishna. So what happens is, before years when we played in Phillips Park, right? So when you start a tournament, your team starts scoring 90s or 100s or so. But by the time you come down to the knockouts, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and all that, your scores become 60s or 70s odd runs. So every ground, the knockout stages add a lot of pressure. And because of that, it's always going to bring down to those 160s. Occasionally you're going to have that game too, where you're going to be just killed. Batter's going to go out there and kill it. But more time and not often, you're going to have pressure, and then it's going to be lower scoring games.
So when you're talking about the high scoring games, I was just thinking for a while, not only this year, even especially from the last year, T10, my view is like the ball manufacturing, right? Though still we use the same ball, the manufacture looks like to be a little different. Just because the ball changed, do you think that the extra 15, 20 runs are coming? The ball is really traveling quicker if you look at it.
See, what I notice over the year is that manufacturing, I think every year it slightly differentiates. We have been using the same ball, same model from ever since that I started playing cricket in Bentonville. But manufacturing has slightly changed, and you're right, ball is traveling a lot more. So before, back in the days, 2013 or so, if you hit 1-6 or 1-4 part of the whole tournament,
you can easily count the number of boundaries.
Right, and you will be you will be the talk of the town. But nowadays, boundaries is easily coming. Ball is traveling much. Having said that, we also, what do you think about the new factor now?
You're right. Like if you look at the first half of the tournament, we have been dealing one ball per innings. If you look at like for a match, we use 2 balls. For the last, I think, if I'm not wrong, rightly from this pre-quarterfinals or quarterfinals, we started
knockout stages.
Knockout stages, 2 balls per innings. Basically, means we are using a ball per 8 over, right? The whole reason the reason why we got that was like the view factor, right? Because if you look at the later part of the game, the view is pretty much high. Since the time we introduced the 2 balls for an innings, we are not seeing much of a view.
View has been less. I think because of there hasn't been much rain also, and because of that. But then bringing two balls per inning, I think it evens out advantage or disadvantage.
That's
so
helping you more for a batsman, being a bowler.
I agree because once the ball becomes heavy, what happens is that ball doesn't travel much. So even if you middle it, chances are you're gonna be caught on the boundary line. But now that ball is freshly new and not wet or heavy anymore, it will travel. So that was the thought process. I'm sure it was the wise decision to make.
Absolutely right. But as a batsman, you might have a different view. As a bowler, I have a different view. I always feel that batsman has edge on just with this 2 new balls coming into picture, or the manufacturing is coming into picture. But nevertheless, end of the day, there's a great contest between the bat and the ball.
Absolutely.
But still, there are very good standout bowlers. We'll talk about that, and standout batsmen. We'll talk about that a little bit, right? So do you want to really pick on this, the number of 50s and 100s, number of 6s, and
so
5-er and 6-er?
There has been 11 50s plus score in this tournament so far this year. I'm just going to go quickly read out those 11 names. Mahidhar from Rowdies has scored 2 times 50. Amrish from Avengers twice. Teeth has 1. Murli has scored 1. Varun from Dodgers scored 1.
Balaji from
Samurais. Rakesh from Rowdies has scored 1 time. Mind you, that's the only 50 that was scored in Phoenix Park. Every other 50 has come in the creek side. Then there is a Nikhil from Rebels. This is Nikhil from Rebels. And then Sajid from Challengers. We spoke about him, the great inning 65. So those are the 50 scored, and why don't you go ahead and speak about that 100?
The very first 100 of the NWA cricket history, man. Like my personal favorite, one of the favorite guys, like the batsman is Nikhil. Man, the way which he dominated that innings, man, great. Like 101, I think.
I think 101 not out.
101 not out, right?
And rightly said, so the way he bats and everything, I think there is no better to score that 100. I think he truly deserved it. He truly deserved it.
To be a very first person to score that 100.
Yes, 100% sure.
So we want to talk when we talk about the 50s and 100s, we want to talk about that 5-er, 6-er, and 4-er. Okay, based on the data, there's a guy, the player who has got the 6-er. Satya from Hunters, he got a 6-er against Benton Lions.
Right.
We don't often see that 6-er coming. Like we have seen that
getting a 6-er is, for my cricketing knowledge, getting 6-er is probably scoring 150.
Exactly right, because it shows that dominance. How dominant he was on the ball in that particular match, right?
And that to your maximum bowling 4 overs.
24 balls. Of course, we got 6 wickets out of the 24 balls.
Right.
Look at the other way, like we got 6 wickets out of the total 10 wickets from a team. And like you rightly said, it's equivalent to scoring 150.
Rightly said so.
While we talk about the 6-er, we want to talk about the 5-er and 4-er.
There has been so many 5-ers as well. There is a Linis, Satish from Panthers. There is a Sandeep from Vikings. Prem from United, so they have taken a 5-ers, and mind you, there has been 4-4 as well, but there has been a lot of 4-4s. There has been about 23 4-4s in the tournament here. And we just spoke about that. This Creekside has been the batting paradise, but looking at this, I wouldn't say so. I would not say so that it has been batting paradise. There has been lot of wickets that has fallen, and a lot of people have taken 4-4s, 5-4s like that.
Finally, some good call-outs for the bowlers. I feel proud of that.
Absolutely.
Representing the bowlers community.
right, for sure. doesn't surprise me that. Mind you that there has been only one 100+ partnership, and that came in from Salvin and Nikhil, 108 partnership against United.
Absolutely, absolutely. So far, it has been a great run. We talked about the teams which really made to the top 12, top 8, and we talked about the players who scored hundreds, 50s, 5-fer, 6-fer, and 4-fer. Well, let's switch our gear towards today's match.
The main event.
The main event. Titans versus Knights.
Right. So here is some data I have, and data has been accumulated by Aki, very own. Great work again, Aki. He's the person on behind the camera even at this second. Thank you, Aki.
That's a special event. We'll talk about Aki. We'll come back.
You're right. Aki needs to be celebrated by a special event by itself. There is nothing at that event. He truly deserves it. Anyways, coming back to this data here that I have on my hand. So Titans, I'm gonna go with the batting. I would like you to go with the bowling stats. What I have is that top order batters from the Titans, and when I say top order, I mean the top 4. So top order batter have scored about 517 runs.
Wow.
Okay, in the tournament. And middle order have scored about 200 runs. So these are for the Titans. Now coming on to the Knights, the top order have scored 363 runs.
Interesting.
While their middle order have scored 395 runs.
Wow.
So overall, in total, Titans have scored 717 runs versus Knights have scored 758 runs.
Oh, head to head.
So in total runs, it's very evened out. But if you look at it, Titans are very top heavy versus Knights are very middle heavy.
So do you want to talk about both those, the top 4 batsmen?
Yeah. So top 4 batsmen in the Titans is the Deep and Ramesh. Mithilesh and Ujjwal, those 4 are they are counting as the top order batters because they've been consistently batting up there. And mind you, all 4 of them are over 100 runs.
Wow.
Now coming on to the Knights, the top order is Abhijit. He has scored over 100 runs. Vinay. There is a Sandeep and Vishwa. Everybody is close to 100 runs. Okay. And the middle order of Knights is Harshu. Chandu, Kishore, and Vimal. Those are middle order, and on the middle order of Titans there is a Charles, there is Mani, Uma, and Shiva. Giving that top order has done exceptionally well for Titans, so these guys may not have done even chance everything. But my X factor for Titans and Knights, I have one pick for each. Okay, as far as the batting goes.
Okay, hold on your thought. We'll come back to the X factor
Okay,
part
let's
of it,
do
right?
that. Let's do that.
So let's go and talk about this bowling part of it, right?
Okay.
So picking up from the Titans, right? From their top bowler means Praneeth and Tirit, means Praneeth with 8 wickets and Tirit with 6 wickets. Whereas with the opening bowler from Knights, Abhijit secured 12 wickets, Sasi has secured 10 wickets. Okay, if you look at it, Knights has secured 22 wickets from now opening their bowlers. With Titans, they have secured 14 wickets from their top bowlers, like meaning the open bowlers. Whereas on the Knights, the middle order, right, middle bowlers like Harshu, Chandu, and Sandeep, between them they shared 23 wickets. Whereas on the Titans, they shared 31 wickets between Ramesh, Ujjwal, and Shiva. That's quite vice versa with the batting and bowling.
Quite opposite to the batting side.
Exactly. With at least the facts shown, the Knights are top heavy. The opening bowlers have secured their majority of the wickets, whereas with the Titans they secure means the middle order bowlers, right? The bowlers who are coming in 3rd and 4th and 5th spell, right? Means they have secured their 31 wickets. If you look at it, right, between Knights they totally secured 45 wickets between the top order and middle order, like the opening bowler and the middle bowlers. Whereas here they scored exactly the 45 wickets on the Titans as well. They are again head to head here.
Right.
You can't have any more interesting facts than this.
Right, absolutely, yeah. That's a great stats came out from Aki here. In wrapping up that final, the main event, I want to take one X factor. Okay. From my side, I want to say that I think for Titans, Steve is the X factor. He's been doing exceptionally well in the batting. Everybody has seen that. The leaderboard shows that. But at the same time, Knights, my X factor is Harshu. He's absolutely he's blazing guns. He's a super with the fielding, super with the bowling, and of course great with the battings too. when he's in the field, he's in the field 200%. He's in the game 200%. So I think these two players are holds the X factor for both their teams.
Sure. There are many more star performers, but these two are the X factors. I would also agree with that, right? From Titan Three and here Harshu. And let's see how the game goes today, right?
Right.
So when we talk about that, some of the data points from a batting and bowling, like we want to also talk about from a leaderboard perspective.
So leaderboard side, right now the highest scorer is winning, and just like how we mentioned, he has not scored a single 50 yet, meaning he has been consistently scoring runs every game. There is another Mahidar who is 190. He does not go past 190 when he just missed by 1 run, provided Rowdy does not have any more games. So he's going to be there.
So whom do you feel like Rennie and Mahidar are still out of the tournament at this point in time? Means their team did not qualify to the finals. Who are the players who could possibly get past to this?
So Tate is very close. Rightly so. He is at 182 runs, and so he has very good chance of being the best batter right now. And then Harshu is there. Harshu is slightly behind, but I don't see a reason why he could not be catching it. He's right around 150 mark. So if he had a good game today, I think he has a chance to score that too.
No surprise, then why did you pick them as an X factor then?
because number shows that. Number shows that how good they have been doing. Do you want to go over the bowling stats for me, please?
Absolutely, right. From leaderboard standpoint, Aki has secured 14 wickets into his baggage. Whereas Shiva, Titan Shiva, right? He also has like 14 wickets. Between Aki and Shiva, both of them share the same number of wickets, but Aki, slightly with the economy and stuff like that, Aki is a top of the leaderboard at this point in time. Followed by Shiva, Abhijit from Knights. He has taken 12 wickets.
Right.
So at this point, Shiva and Abhijit are the active contestants at this point in time who could beat Aki,
right?
So who get past with Aki, right? Possibly Shiva. Shiva all he needs like 2-3 wickets, and Abhijit, if he's going to do wonders with grabbing 4-5 wickets, he could be possibly in a leaderboard as well. He could lead the board from a bowling standpoint. When we talk about the batting and bowling the leaderboard, we want to talk about these the most valuable players.
Go ahead and talk about those MVP that we have. I think Amrish is there.
Yeah.
Amrish is there with a 37.4 points.
Yeah.
Do you want to go over the other ones for me, please?
Sure. Like followed by Harshu with 34.4 points, and Thiri 31.4, and Abhijit 30.6. But still, Harshu, Thiri, Abhijit, they have a very good chance of just surpassing.
So that they all three actively playing this game today. I think they have a very great chance to pass the Amrish and be the MVP there.
Absolutely. So we talked about the best batter, best bowler, and the MVP from a leaderboard standpoint. And also we talked about the Knights and Titans, the X factors, and also the data points on that. So just moving on to the final episode, final section of this whole episode, right? Whom do you think the favorite for today's finals, Vishal?
So instead of, or before I say my verdict on the favorites, I want to bring in some history to it. Okay, so Titans, I think they've been playing since 2010, 2011, I believe so. They have won championship 2012, 2016, 2019, and today they are finalists. Okay,
they are 3-time champions.
3-time champions in 2020.
I think they are the only team who is holding the 2016 trophy championship for 3 times.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
There are, I could remember there are 3 more teams like Rivals they hold with the 2-time champions, and Blazers with 2-time champions, and Samurais with 2-time champions.
Right. So Titans is the only team holding championship for 3 times.
Yeah.
Now on the other side, ever since Knight has been formed in 2021, they were finalists in 2021 the same year, then quarterfinalists 2022, and this year they are again in finals. So at this time, I'm gonna say 55 to 45 in favor of Titan. Titans 55%, but it's very close. 55-45 is not too far. I don't think so. It's too far. I think it's very neck to neck. Just that experience factor the Titans hold, and that's why they are getting 5 more percentage. But otherwise, I would think it's very evenly poised. But at the same time, I would like our viewers to let us know in our comments, saying who who they think will be the winners and who their favorite is.
Absolutely, we can't wait for this finals anymore. Like we are just like 5 hours waiting, like 5 hours away, right? Like the game is going to start like around 4:30, like 4 hours, right? Like from there, probably next 8 hours we might know who is going to be the 2023
Right.
T16 champion between Titans and Knights. What a tournament we have! Like we couldn't have asked for any better tournament than this. Especially, Captain, what do you think?
Rightly so. With the new ground and everything in last 2 months have been really great with a lot of cricket in town, and could not have asked for better tournament for sure. And that's gonna probably wrap our episode today with the Cuppa cricket. I'm sure we'll be back with some more excitement and other kind of videos with you guys. But do chime in later on the Facebook and NWA Cricket YouTube channel to watch more live videos for this and the presentation segment.
Absolutely. Let's at the same time let's introduce the brain behind this Cuppa cricket, Mr. Aki. He's our director of this whole Cuppa cricket. We want to bring in
No,
Aki.
just give a word from here. Thanks a lot, Krishna and Vishal, amidst your schedule coming here and talking about it. It really means good to the NWA cricket. One thing I'm very happy about doing it today is I made sure I made Krishna to sit right behind the bowler's poster and Vishal to sit right behind the batter's poster.
That was a coincidence, I guess. Yeah.
That's my.
Anyway.
Thanks a lot for both, and thanks viewers for watching it. We will see you all in another 2.5 hours.